This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at Ease, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery. If you live in the Golden State and want to know if legal cannabis delivery is available in your local area, you just need to fire up ease.com, which has the entire state's different rules and regulations for marijuana delivery baked right into their system. Ease's partner dispensaries offer top products at great prices, all available for delivery in their active areas. If you don't live in California, you should open up ease.com/blog to check out some of the media they put together about how things are going in their state in the opening days of adult use legalization. That's ease.com/blog, which is spelled EAZE. Ease.com/blog. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Wednesday, January 10th, 2018, and you're tuned in to episode 406 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Our top story of the day is a bit of a break from the overall depressive tone of our last week's top story, with the New Hampshire State House voting in favor of a limited adult use legalization bill. Yesterday, the New Hampshire State House voted by a count of 207 to 139 in favor of a proposed piece of legislation that would allow adults to grow, possess, and use limited amounts of marijuana. The bill will need to make one last stop through the House Ways and Means Committee before it could be taken up for deliberation by the New Hampshire State Senate. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on this one. Jumping just south of New Hampshire to Massachusetts, we find most of the state's medical marijuana dispensaries losing their ability yesterday to process debit and credit card transactions, moving them to inform customers that they would only be accepting cash and checks as payment for medicine. The processing blackout, which has reportedly spread to neighboring Rhode Island and New Hampshire, is a result of banks being even more skittish about handling legal cannabis business after Attorney General Jeff Sessions rescinded the Cole Memo. The fact that Massachusetts U.S. Attorney Andrew Lelling also said that his office would consider prosecuting state legal cannabis businesses on a, quote, case-by-case basis certainly didn't help install confidence with banks about the situation in the Bay State. This is a good one to click over for the full read. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com and on our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. Our final top story of the day is another tale of fallout of the rescinding of the Cole Memo, this time with Nevada State saying they were putting plans on hold to allow businesses to open space for customers to consume cannabis in. This is a story we've been tracking for a while now, with a lot of people in Nevada rightly pointing out that there are plenty of legal places to buy cannabis in their state, but nowhere outside private homes in which to use it. That's a problem in a state that gets as many tourists as Nevada does, so there's been substantial work made towards finding a solution allowing businesses to open up cannabis consumption space. But as the Las Vegas Sun is now reporting, those efforts are being put on hold indefinitely in the wake of Attorney General Jeff Sessions killing the Cole Memo. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out in headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Ease, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery. When you open up and place an order for delivery on ease.com, you can rest assured that you'll be fully in compliance with California state cannabis laws. That's because Ease has been working behind the scenes to encode the different rules each city and town has about marijuana delivery right into their system. Put that legwork to work for you by opening up ease.com and seeing what your local options are for legal marijuana delivery. When you fire up ease.com, you'll find top products at great prices. And if you don't live in California, you should check out the handy guide to California legal cannabis that the folks over at Ease have put together over at ease.com/blog. That's ease.com, which is spelled EAZE/blog. All right, time for the blitz. Jumping up to my corner of the country here in Maine, we have the state's U.S. attorney largely echoing the comments his Massachusetts peer just made about handling cannabis convictions and federal law. U.S. Attorney for Maine Helsley Frank issued comments yesterday about how his office will handle marijuana prosecutions in the wake of the rescinding of the Cole Memo, in which he said, quote, "My job is to enforce federal law, not countermand it," unquote. Again, he echoed Massachusetts U.S. Attorney Andrew Lelling when he said he would approach things on a, quote, case-by-case basis. Keeping our eyes up in Maine for a headline, we have a proposed compromise bill on legal adult use sales being offered up yesterday during a legislative hearing on the matter held in the state capital of Augusta. The plan was the result of work between a coalition of marijuana supporters and opponents, including Legalize Maine and the Maine Office of Smart Approaches to Marijuana. During that same hearing, State Senator Roger Katz, co-chair of the state's Marijuana Legalization Committee, introduced a bill to extend a moratorium on adult use sales set to expire in February out to May in order to give the state legislature more time to work. Swing over to the Portland Press Herald for all the details on this one. Another day, another huge funding deal to announce up in Canada. This time it's MedReleaf Corporation working with Canaccord Genuity and GMP Securities to raise $100 million Canadian on the open market, or just over $80 million US. The deal includes an option for the underwriters to pick up an additional $15 million Canadian in stock within 30 days of closing. Open up new Cannabis Ventures for all the numbers and details on this one. Marijuana Business Daily has a good piece up, taking a closer look at Canada in terms of their cultivation and processing capabilities in the face of the nationwide adult use legalization set to hit later this summer. As Marijuana Business Daily's Matt Lamer has it, the country now has more than enough cultivation capacity to handle the anticipated needs of Canadian marijuana consumers. Whether you live in Canada or not, this is an important one to open up for the full read. Yesterday, a number of Colorado's top federal politicians sent a letter to U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions asking that he reverse his recent decision to rescind the Cole Memo. Democratic Representatives Jared Polis, Diana DeGette, and Ed Perlmutter were joined by Republican Representative Mike Kaufman in asking Sessions to reconsider. Open up the Cannabist for the full read of their letter. Green Market Report picked up on the story of a recent survey conducted among Alabama citizens that found that 60.2% were in favor of the legalization of marijuana for both adult use and medical reasons. Alabama is, of course, where U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions is from, which makes the high levels of support found in the state all the sweeter. When you break the survey results down by political persuasion, a solid 55.3% of self-identifying conservatives came down on the pro-marijuana side of things. And finally for today, we have a bit of good news in that racist Kansas State Representative Steve Alford, who I first reported on yesterday for his grossly racist and profoundly stupid comments about marijuana prohibition, is stepping down from a number of legislative leadership positions he had been serving in. Mr. Alford has been scrambling to stem the bleeding from his idiotic remarks, and yesterday announced that he was resigning as chairman of the House Children and Seniors Committee, as well as vice chairman of a legislative task force on child welfare. Even still, Mr. Alford isn't resigning from his job as state representative, which to me seems to be the more fitting punishment for being a factually challenged bigot. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at MJTodayDaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. What's the difference between ignorance and apathy? I don't know, and I don't care. Thanks to our sponsor Ease and to all of our awesome patron listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the patron listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.